Let's start with the chapter 1, real numbers today. The first theorem that we'll discuss is Euclid's division lemma, which states given positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r satisfying a is equal to bq plus r is greater than equal to 0 but less than b. Let's try to understand it with help of some simple numbers, some simple integers. The statement says given positive integers a and b. That means I need two integers here. So let me take my integers to be 50 and 35. So I take here a to be as 50 and b to be as 35. Now it is a division lemma, so something to do with division. So let's divide. The bigger number by the smaller number. I am going to get the answer as my quotient is 1. My divisor is 35, my dividend is 50 and my remainder is 15. And I think all of you should be aware that when do we stop our division? We stop our division when our remainder is always less than the divisor. Here 15 is less than 35, so I am stopping my division. If my remainder would have been 35, I would have still continued. But it should be less than the divisor. Now, in our previous classes, we have learned a division rule that dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So, same rule is applicable here. So, 50. This 50 is actually equal to 35 into 1. 35 into 1 plus the remainder 15. So, my 50 is A, my B is 35, my Q means the quotient here and R means the remainder here. So A is equal to BQ plus R. So this condition is satisfied here. A is equal to BQ plus R. And what is this? This is basically regarding the remainder that I have discussed, that my remainder should always be less than the divisor. So my remainder should always be less than the divisor. Who is my divisor? My divisor is B. B is my divisor. So remainder should always be less than the divisor. And we have discussed that the remainder can always be equal to 0 also. The remainder can be 0 also, but it cannot be less than 0. It can be equal to 0, it can be greater than 0. But it should be less than the divisor. So what does finally Euclid division lemma says? That if you have any two positive integers a and b, then you will always find a quotient and a remainder which satisfy the equation a is equal to bq plus r, and r, the remainder, should always be greater than equal to 0 but less than the divisor. Now let's discuss another important question of Euclid's division lemma, in which we need to find the HCF of any two numbers. Now when we have to find the HCF, obviously I am going to divide the bigger number by the smaller number. My bigger number here is 1188 and the smaller is 504. So it will be 2 times 1008, the remainder is 180. Now by Euclid's division lemma, what can I write it as? By Euclid's division lemma, my dividend can be written as, my dividend, that is means 1188, can be written as 504 divisor into quotient plus the remainder. The remainder is 180. Now in the second step, I am going to take my divisor as the dividend and the remainder as the divisor. That means I am going to divide this number with 180. So into 2 it is 360. My remainder will be 144. So that means what can I write 504 as? 180 into 2 plus the remainder. So 180 into 2 plus the remainder 144. Now again I need to take my divisor as the dividend and the remainder as the quotient. We are going to continue with this process until we get the remainder as 0. So what happens when I divide 180 by 144, 180 by 144, ones are, the remainder is 36. So I can write it as 180, I can write as 144 into 1 plus 36. Still I have not got my remainder as 0. So again 144 will now become, 144 will become the dividend and 36 will become the divisor. So I am going to divide 144 by 36 now. 144 by 36. So this is 4s. 144 remainder is 0. So that means I can write 144 as 36 into 4 plus 0. Now I am going to stop here because I've got my remainder as 0. Now HCF is basically the divisor at this stage. So who's the divisor here? 36. You can also say the remainder of the last step. Second last step, sorry. This is my last step, the HCF. So therefore HCF is equal to 36. The divisor at the last stage when my remainder is 0. If you have any confusion in these two numbers, you can obviously take it as the remainder of the second last step. Now let's discuss another important question of Euclid's division lemma, in which we have to show that any positive odd integer is of the form 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. Firstly, let's understand the meaning of this question. The question says that any positive odd integer, when I'm talking about any positive odd integer, so I can take some numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. I've taken few odd numbers and I have to prove that they are either of this form 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5. Now, how can I write 1 in this form? I can write it as 6 into 0 plus 1. So that means this is of the form 6q plus 1, where my q is 0. I can write 3 as 6 into 0 plus 3, where this is of the form 6q plus 3. 5 I can write as 6 into 0 plus 5, which is 6q plus 5 form. 7 I can write as 6 into 1 plus 1, which is of the form 6q plus 1. Here q is 1. 9 I can write as 6 into 1 plus 3. So this is of the form 6q plus 3, where q is 1. And 11 I can write as 6 into 1 plus 5 equal to 6q plus 5. So in this manner, any positive odd integer can be expressed in any one of these forms, one of these three forms. But we are not going to explain it with the help of examples. We are going to explain it in general for any positive odd integer. So in these questions, we take let A be the number we are talking about, and we are talking here about any positive odd integer. So let A be any positive odd integer. And I need a divisor also, since in Euclid lemma we are talking about two numbers. So this is only A. Now my second number, my divisor, I'm going to select from here 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3. So I'm taking my B to be 6. So therefore by Euclid's lemma, I'm going to take A is equal to 6q plus R, where R is greater than equal to 0 but less than 6. And therefore R is equal to either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. It can take all these values but not equal to 6. Therefore, what can be my possible values of A? Therefore, A is equal to, firstly, if I take R to be 0, then what is this equation going to be? This will be equal to 6q. But if I take it to be 1, it will be 6q plus 1. If I take it to be 2, it will be 6q plus 2. If I take it to be 3, it will be 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 4 or 6q plus 5. But what is my A actually? My A was any positive odd integer. Now, out of all these values, don't you think that 6q plus 2 and 6q plus 4 are even? But A is equal to 6q plus 2 and 6q plus 4 are even integers, are even. So who am I left with? I'm only left with 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5. So hence any positive odd integer is of the form 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5. Let's understand another important question of Euclid's division lemma, in which we need to show that square of any positive integer is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1. First, let's understand it with the help of examples. It is saying square of any positive integer. So I am taking few positive integers with me. I've taken till 5. Okay. So this is 1, 4, 9, 16 and 25. I can write 1 as 3 into 0 plus 1. So which is of the form 3m plus 1. I can write 4 as 3 into 1 plus 1. So again it is of the form 3m plus 1. 9 I can write as 3 into 3. So of the form 3m. 16 can be written as 3 into 5 plus 1. So 3m plus 1. 25 can be written as 3 into 8 plus 1. So 3m plus 1. So any square number, any positive square integer can be written either in the form 3m or 3m plus 1. But we have to show it with, in general, for any positive integer. We don't have to take examples. So what do we take? We take a to be any positive integer. So let a be any positive integer and b I take as 3, because I need the form 3m or 3m plus 1. So therefore by Euclid's lemma, I'm going to take a is equal to 3q plus r, where r is greater than equal to 0, but it has to be less than 3. So what can r be? Therefore r is equal to 0, 1 or 2. So therefore a can be equal to, first case 3q, because if I take r to be 0, it will be 3q. If I take r to be 1, it will be 3q plus 1. And if I take r to be 2, it will be 3q plus 2. But I don't have to seek here a here. I have to see that the square of any positive integer. So we need to do the squaring. So case 1, when my a is 3q, so I need to square it. So therefore a square is equal to 3q whole square equal to 9q square. Now I wanted the form as 3m or 3m plus 1. So can I write 9 as 3 into 3q square? And I can write 3q square as m, where m is equal to 3q square some integer. Let's discuss the other two cases also. Now my case 2, when a is equal to 3q plus 1. So I need to do the squaring both sides, because my question says square of any positive integer. So this will be equal to 9q square plus 1 plus 6q. I'm using the identity a square plus b square plus 2ab. Now I want it as a multiple of 3m or 3m plus 1. So I need to take 3 common. I can take 3 common from the first term and the last term. So 3 common means it will be 3q square plus 2q and this plus 1 outside here, because it is not a multiple of 3. So again I can write it as 3m plus 1, where what is my m? Where m is equal to 3q square plus 2q some integer. Now let's discuss the last case. The last case was when my a is equal to 3q plus 2. In this case, what kind of a form it is going to take? Let's square both sides. A square is equal to 3q plus 2 square. So this can be written as 9q square plus 4 plus 12q. Now what is Do I have 3 common in all of them? No. If I take only 3 common from these two terms, then I'm left with 4. Then it will be of the form 3m plus 4. But I don't want 3m plus 4. I want 3m or 3m plus 1. Now, since this is a number greater than 3, I can write it as 3 plus 1. I've written 4 as 3 plus 1. Now, from which 3 terms can I take 3 common? 9q squared, 3 and 12q. So I can take 3 common from these 3 terms. So it will be 3q squared plus 1 plus 4q, and this plus 1 goes outside the bracket. So again it is of the form 3m plus 1, where my m is equal to 3q squared plus 1 plus 4q. So hence, what do I observe? I observe that any square number, hence square of any positive integer is of the form 3m or 3m plus 1.